Hello there, I'm Steve Arcade, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of How It Started, How Gamers Became Gamers. This podcast, it's all about taking a trip down memory lane with everyday gamers, learning the who, what, when, where, and how behind their love for gaming. Along the way, we'll discuss different gaming-related topics and thoughts on all things gaming. In this episode, Ben and I welcome Rory, or as he's known on Twitch, AfterLifesUber. We'll talk about how he got into gaming with the NES and his uncles on games like the original Mario, Duck Hunt, and Contra, how his mom plays video games like a pro, why Final Fantasy VII was his first love in gaming, his top 3 favorite games of all time, the story behind his Twitch name, how he likes to play RPGs slowly and why, the failure of Anthem, and more. We hope you enjoy the show. All right, everybody, thanks again for joining us with another episode of How It Started, How Gamers Became Gamers. I'm with my co-host, as always, Ben. We are here with AfterLifesUber from Twitch, also named Rory. Rory, thanks for joining us today, man. We really appreciate you being here with us.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, thank you for the invite. It's this is actually my first podcast, so this is kind of exciting for me.
Awesome, cool.
Well, thanks for joining us. And so gamers don't actually get older; they level up. So I'd like to ask you, what level are you?
I am currently level 36.
Awesome. And so the way we like to get started with these interviews is to kind of dive right into how you got exposed to video games. Most of us have pretty vivid memories of that. The first thing I'd like to ask is, who was the person in your life that exposed you to video gaming first?
I'd have to say it was my mom and my dad, because growing up, I always remember having a Nintendo. That was the first system I played on, was the Nintendo in our house. All my uncles had them. So really, it was just my family all together.
Your uncles had Nintendos of their own?
Oh, yeah.
How old were they, like young, around your age, or just a little bit older than you, or were they close to your parents' age?
I'd say they were probably in their 30s when they had them.
Okay, so adult gamers in the 80s and 90s. That's pretty cool, because there weren't a lot of those around. What games did they get you into first?
It all started with Mario and Duck Hunt.
Sure.
Mario and Duck Hunt. That's when they had it combined on one cartridge.
Yep, I had one.
Yep. And then we played the crap out of some Contra, man.
Sure. Yeah.
And actual like Dr. Mario, I remember playing that a lot for some odd reason.
Sure.
And my mom used to play Pac-Man. I used to try to beat her score, and I could never do it. And she used to play with her controller sideways, which was weird. Like up was right, she would hold it so the up button was to the right button was down. It was weird, but she was just a beast at it.
Nice. So she must have played like in the arcades when it was an arcade machine before it ever hit like a home console.
She might have. She's just an animal at
it. Does she play still today?
She does. I think she has a Wii for herself. She doesn't have any newer consoles.
Did she play any other games with you, like Tetris or anything like that? That was my mom's game, was Tetris.
That was the other game that she played, and she it was always a it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was it was a friendly competition.
Sure.
Because she got to like 1,000,000 points first, and then I had to reach it, and then she just kept going and going and go. Like I think her highest was like 4 million something, and I could never get past like 3.
Okay. Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have a sister.
Older? Younger?
She's a year older.
Did she play games with you?
Not as much. I was more or less the one that picked up on the gaming.
Okay. So did your mom ever play like Mario Brothers or anything like that?
Yeah, she loved Mario, but she knew all the where the 1-ups were and all the secrets and crap.
Okay. When my mom would play Nintendo games like Mario Brothers with us, she'd do like what's called driving the controller, where like she'd jump and she would.
All right, yeah. Like I want to
throw the controller to you. Okay, jump! Yeah, that was we would let her play just to get the laughs out of watching her, exaggerated movements with the controller. Because I mean, we just sit there with it in our lap. She's throwing it all over the place, shouting
the board out.
I mean, she wouldn't get mad. She was just having a great time, but she just couldn't help herself but to throw the controller in every which direction as she's trying to make the guy on the screen move the way she wanted. And then, so you went from the NES to what? What happened after NES?
We went with every system. Like we went from NES to the Super NES and Genesis. We just went up the line.
So what was the game that stuck out the most? Like, what was the game that really, like, was your first love in game? You know how, like, you had your first crush when you were a kid? What was your first crush in gaming? What was the game that you just absolutely fell in love with?
The first game I absolutely fell in love with, I'm going to have to say it was actually Final Fantasy VII.
Okay. Tell us more.
I fell off of gaming. Nah, I guess I never fell off. I always played games, but like Final Fantasy VII dropped and I didn't even know what the game was about. I never really played too many like, JRPGs before that or whatever, or any RPGs really. And then I just, within the first 20 minutes of playing that game, I couldn't stop. It just,
nice.
The story, the graphics. So it's interesting because you see graphics like the Final Fantasy VII remake now.
Yeah.
But in my head, that's how Final Fantasy VII looked back then to me. Like,
sure.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, and then you see the comparison. You're like, that's what it used to look like. I swear I saw better graphics than that. But like,
that was kind of the thing about gaming back then, wasn't it? A lot of it was left to our imagination as to like what it was supposed to be like. Yeah, for sure. I played. Did you play? Did you get into 8 at all after you played 7?
Oh yeah, I went straight to 8 as soon as it came out.
Which one did you like better?
7. I still like 7. 8 was a great game though. I actually liked 9, and a lot of people didn't because of the weird cartoony style. Like when you're running around the world, they had the big heads, but I thought it was good. Not as good as 8 and 7 though.
So, with Final Fantasy VII, did you play the remake that came out last year, which I guess is only 1/3 of the story?
It is only 1/3 of the story, so it's basically like the original, the first 3 discs. Yeah, I just played it. My daughter, she found the DVD that I had, the Advent Children one, and she has that on her in her room on repeat. She loves just the concept of, and she watched me play the whole thing. We just beat it the other day.
Okay.
Well, the first part. Yeah, I liked it. It took on a different, fighting style. I still like turn-based crap, like the turn-based style of RPGs. But
this is more like a beat 'em up type thing, or how does it work?
Yeah. Did you play Final Fantasy 15 at all?
No, I played 7 and 8, and that's pretty much the end of it for me.
Okay.
Not for any reason other than just never got back into it.
Okay. So they went from turn-based to it's not too much of a beat 'em up. You still have, it's like you can still pick. You have to pick spells and stuff and abilities to use, but it's more of a free motion. Like you can actually hit square to attack instead of hit attack and then wait to attack. Like you have the ability to dodge and block
more real time.
Yeah,
so it's a real time combat, as opposed to turn-based.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I still like the turn-based. Something about strategizing what you got to do you still have to use strategy on this, but no, I like the remake. They added some elements into it that were different from the original story.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see that they're still going. The original story is still in. What am I trying to say? It's intact.
Okay. So they're kind of fleshing it out.
Yeah, there's actually some elements like they. I don't want to spoil stuff, but they have like flashbacks, but you can see like some elements from Advent Children coming into it. And I don't know if you've seen the movie or not.
I have not.
Okay. But like they have some elements from that coming into it, and just new ways of having to fight certain bosses.
Ben, have you seen Advent Children?
No, I have not. So
I don't know what kind of movies you guys are into, but yeah, I mean, if you played Final Fantasy VII, it's worth a look.
Sure.
Gotcha. All right. So what would you say that your favorite game is, or maybe your top 3?
Ooh, that's tough. Oh man, you can't
all
do
time.
that. Okay, all time. Well, obviously I'd have to put Final Fantasy VII in there. I've put way too many hours in there, like multiple gameplays. This is actually a really tough question because
everybody says the same thing.
Yeah. It is. The Last of Us series just the two right now, like it's amazing. Those games. The second one had better, gameplay, like fighting mechanics than the first one.
Mhm.
But the stories alone, the story-driven part of those games it's definitely one of my favorite games. And then you got, oh man, I can't. This is like Ghost of Tsushima just came out, and that game's got a great story and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can pick.
Pick anything.
You can't.
What's been the most impactful in your life? If you look back over you're 36, right? So you've been playing games for longer than you haven't, right?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the hand tattoo, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That's really cool looking. So like go back. One guest we had actually did something really cool. Actually, he was our first guest. He kind of blocked it out in decades of his life. So like the first 10 years of gaming, then the second 10 years of gaming, and then like the current, most recent 10 years of gaming. And he kind of broke it out that way. I thought that was kind of cool. So maybe try that.
Yeah, that's a different way of looking at it.
Sure.
Instead of being bundled up.
Right.
I guess I could just go like, I don't know what it was. Have you ever played Gunstar Heroes on Sega Genesis?
No, tell us about it.
It's a side-scrolling, side-scrolling shooter game.
Okay.
And you're gonna have to look it up.
I will.
It's I don't know. I put way too many hours into that game to not mention it. Before then I never played like a side-scrolling shooting game like that.
Did you spend most of your time in your childhood gaming by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Did you ever go to arcades? I mean, you're old enough.
Yeah, I used to love arcades, man.
What games did you play in the arcade?
What's it? Area 51.
Now that was a hold the gun on the thing and turn and shoot, right?
You had to like aim down the reload and crap like that. Yeah, that was. I don't even know the name of it. It was the racing one where you're on the street bike.
Oh gosh, there were so many of those.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many of those great gimmick games like that.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
What about fighting games? You ever get into those?
Yeah, I used to play Mortal Kombat a lot. I still
remember. First one, second one?
I used to play the first one a lot. I actually fell off on the recent ones, but I used to play all the first ones a lot. I still remember the blood code for the Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was my Twitch name for a minute.
Was it?
Abacab. Yeah, that was my Twitch
name.
Go. Nobody knew how to pronounce it. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, we're going to move on from that one. Yeah, I'd follow them on Twitch and they'd be like, thanks for following me, ABA Cab. I'm just going to call you Cab. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're going to pick a new name.
Moving on.
We're going to pick a new name now. Let's move on from that. So let's go. Let's reverse it now.
Okay.
What's the absolute worst game you've ever played? And it could be a game that like you just tried it and you were like, oh God, this is shit. Or it could be a game that like we had, like it could have been a game that was like super duper hyped and you were ready and you got in there and you were like, God dang, dude.
People are probably going to get mad at me about depending on the generation, but
everybody says that.
Parappa the Rapper.
Parappa the Rapper?
You've never played? It's on PlayStation. It was it play first one? I don't know. It got overhyped.
Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, Parappa the Rapper.
Okay. Tell me about that. I've never heard of that.
It was you were this little dog rapper trying to make a name for himself, and you were going up against these master rappers, and you had to hit the buttons,
Like was it a timing based game then? Like
yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And that was kind of like DDR or something similar to that.
Yeah, it was that style.
Pressing
but with a controller.
Right.
And the raps weren't that great, and it was just it was just weird animation. I just couldn't get into it.
Well, I don't think it did very well. I never heard of it. I don't.
I feel like I have heard of it. I've never really played it. So
I know the old Electronic Gaming Monthly hyped the crap out of it.
I don't think it got re-released in the PlayStation Greatest Hits collection.
I really hope not.
Well, I just did a quick Google search, and in their images, there's a PS4 version of it.
Oh God, no.
It looks like the old title, but it says PS4 at the top. So
Oh, it might have made it back into the greatest hits then.
Oh yeah, it could be like one of those cult classics, like E.T. on
Yeah.
the Atari, where it was like so bad it was good.
Oh God, E.T. was horrible.
It was the worst.
Or was it Yar's Revenge?
I heard about that. I never played it.
I just watched like YouTube things, but it's
Okay.
you're like a little. I don't know. You're a little spot fighting other spots.
So-
it's Atari, so.
So what games are you currently playing?
I don't want to fall into the category or that, but
Dive in.
I can't stop playing Warzone, man. I can't.
How do you feel about the cheating situation?
They should have done something about it a long time ago.
Here.
So what platform are you playing on?
PS4 currently.
Okay.
That's what I stream. Because my wife, and I always have a squad, so we always stream that. Right now I'm trying to finish Ghost of Tsushima, which is an excellent game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to finish off The Last of Us 2, Part 2.
Did you get a PS5 yet?
No.
Have you tried?
I tried, and then I looked. I'm not spending $1,000 to get
Hell
one.
no.
Well, the supposed news is they're supposed to drop more, like a lot soon. March,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Just take time.
Yeah. I never, even with the PlayStation 4, we didn't get the first bundle that came out. We waited.
I pre-ordered the base PS4, but I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and there wasn't a pandemic going on where everybody was trying to buy every home gaming system and thing that they could do to entertain themselves at home possible, like we have right now. So are you on a PS4 base or Pro?
Just a base.
Okay.
My wife has the Pro.
Oh. So your wife's as much of a gamer as you are?
Yeah, she's actually playing Call of Duty with my buddy right now.
Okay. Does she stream or just you?
No, just me.
Okay. So now I have to ask, I need the story. What's the deal with the name AfterLifesUber? Are you just a really big fan of the Greek tale of Karen and the River Styx? Is that kind of like a modern day version of that?
Yeah, we can roll with that. I've always liked the Grim Reaper a little bit, and so it's a weird how I even went about my name. On Twitter, there's the Satan Twitter handle, and then there's the Tweets of God, and I saw them arguing.
Okay.
I was like, you guys need another figure to jump in here.
All right.
And I wish I had 2 accounts. I wish I never deleted the other one, but I was just like, you know what? You need death. Let's get death rolling in this. So because I used to be Crazy Rooster X as Twitch and stuff like that, and I just switched it over to everything to that.
Okay.
So it's basically just like a rebrand and trying to argue with those guys.
Okay.
But yes, I do. Yeah. This is modern day version of, Karen and the River Styx, the Grim Reaper-esque type stuff.
The ferry across the river Styx. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay. So this was a name you came up with, not a name that someone else gave you then?
No. I don't even know how I came up with the twist. I was just like, because there's other Death and Grim Reaper profiles out there, and I was like, I'm not going to stick out. I need something different. And I was like, I need to play on it.
AfterLifeSuber is definitely different. I'll give you that.
Picked a modern day, and some people don't get it. Like, when you kill them on like Call of Duty, they're like, "What the hell's that name mean anyway?" Like, really?
How do you pronounce Abacat? We're back to that story now.
Yeah, but then you do get some people that are like, "Oh, that's cool, man."
So you're just playing Warzone. Have you played Black Ops Cold War at all? Are you into it?
No, I have not played it. I think the only reason I really did want it just for storyline with Frank Woods, because I liked him as a character. And the zombies look cool, but I don't know. It's really not grabbing my attention.
I've personally been playing the crap out of the zombies game modes.
Same zombies. Yeah, a lot of people I see have been playing zombies. I do want it, but I don't know.
So
Haven't been able to put down Warzone.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say, have
haven't.
you put down Warzone long enough to finish Ghost of Tsushima, or not
I,
yet?
not yet. I normally play during the day for a couple hours on either Last of Us 2 or Ghost of Tsushima.
So are you a completionist when you come with your RPGs? Because like I almost don't want to come to the end of the story. Like I find every little thing that I can do
Yep.
that's not advancing the storyline for as long as possible until I'm like, okay,
Yes, I
I'll
have
push
to
toward the
now.
end.
Yeah, when all the side quests run out, you're like, well,
Yeah.
I haven't searched that little tiny piece in the corner of the map up there. Let's go. Even if there's
That's
nothing
where I'm
there,
at
like,
with Cyberpunk right now. Yeah.
yeah, I wish I had that game too. That game looks fun.
Not on PS4, you don't.
No, there's problems. I got one buddy. He's been playing it. He hasn't had any problems at all.
On a base console or a pro?
I think he's got a pro.
Yeah, it's the base consoles that I hear the bad news about, unfortunately.
Okay. Well,
That
I'll just
there's
download it
just
on my
like a
wife's.
metric shit ton of pop in, and it's bad enough that Sony took it off their digital store, and it's
Yeah, they
still not
did.
back on yet.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're waiting for. I've heard there's a lot of bugs on even the Xbox consoles too.
So that's your deal with Ghost, though. You're just kind of slow rolling it and trying to take it all in. Then.
Yeah. So even after the first intro part of Ghost, have you played Ghost?
I have not.
Okay. Well, there's an intro part, and they tell you, the tutorial.
Sure.
And then they tell you, hey, go here.
Yeah.
It took me about 2.5 hours to go there because I went everywhere else first. And then I was like, well, that's right there now. I might as well go.
Yeah.
But that like with even Skyrim, you know what? That's probably one of my all-time favorite games. I put too many hours into that too. The first time I played it, it's over like 430 hours. But I covered every nook and cranny of that map, man.
Yeah, that's the kind of the thing is I think to myself, well, they took the time to put this in here because they want me to see it.
Yeah.
So if I just skip over it, then I'm kind of like doing myself a disservice.
Yeah.
Would you say, Ben?
Yeah, I'd say that. I mean,
because I've played RPGs with you where you're just like, wait, I didn't cover this little 1 square inch in this corner over here. Wait a minute, I'll be right there.
I'm doing it with Mass Effect Andromeda right now. I'm completing every single mission. I'm like, go here and rescue this person. They can wait. All right. I'm over here collecting these plants or whatever.
I just remember, Mass Effect spending so much time. You had to buy all the probes and probe every freaking inch of the planet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, scanning all the planets in Mass Effect 2. You got to get all the resources. You have enough resources to get all the research. I don't care. I need all of it.
No, I need all of it. I need extra.
Every planet must say empty.
Are you planning on playing the remaster then, Rory?
You know what? I'm gonna have to. I love that game. There's too many games that I do love. Like the BioShock series was great.
Yeah.
I have that on. Oh man, you guys are gonna make me play so many games now. I'm never gonna finish Ghost.
Oh, wait until you start listening to the podcast. This is what happens to everybody.
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I believe it. Because I got a backlog of games I need to play and games I need to finish. And then apparently No Man's Sky became a great game. I got to get back into that. I don't even know if I want to. I played that too much too.
I hear good things about it. We're waiting to find out the fate of Anthem.
Yeah, that game looked. Yeah, what happened to that game?
It looked really nice, but it was a total failure on the inside. It's like that when you date that girl that just doesn't, or that guy for that matter, that just said like looks great but has no personality at all.
Yeah.
Once you get into the dinner table, you just find out they're just like hot air.
It had a lot of potential to it, but
that was Anthem. Yeah, it got to the dinner table and it had nothing to say.
That's kind of how No Man's Sky came out. Like they hyped it up so much and they spent so much on promoting it and advertising, and then you got it and it was just kind of like you said, that guy, he expected something hard and you got a wet noodle.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Like, exactly. Yeah, it's the inflatable muscle suit, right?
Yeah.
You just blow it right up, and then as soon as somebody walks up with a pin and pops it, right? But credit to Hello Games for sticking with it, because I mean they took a lot of hits for how bad the game was at the beginning. It was a shell. I mean, the game was a shell.
Yeah. I will say it was a lot of fun flying around like Iron Man, but that can only last so long.
Yeah, Anthem. Yeah. I was talking about No Man's Sky, but Anthem, the Iron Man simulator was cool.
The Iron Man simulator.
then we got to the end game and there was nothing to do, and it was just like, wow, what am I here for? Yeah, that's really what it is.
Well, it was also the fact that they advertised it as like a loot grabbing game, and there just wasn't really.
Yeah,
it wasn't focused on loot. It wasn't focused they didn't know what they were focusing on.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like the Destiny killer, and I guess it failed.
Yeah, no, its destiny was to kill itself, apparently.
I was gonna say it backfired.
It did not work out at all. So we covered your favorite all-time game. We covered the absolute worst game you played. You're playing Warzone right now. You're playing Ghost of Tsushima. What's coming out next that's for you?
Well, going back to Final Fantasy, waiting for the second part of the remake to come out. I don't even know when that's supposed to come out. I don't even think they leaked. And I'm waiting on Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay.
I haven't really seen.
It's really weird. This is one of those years where nobody's really too sure about what's coming next.
I mean,
in terms of new games.
Yeah, because they're taking so long and they've advertised them so long, and you're just kind of.
And they took a lot of hits during the pandemic. Most most
we're
studios.
Stuck in limbo. Yeah, have cut off. Yeah, we're stuck in like a game limbo here.
Right.
So I mean, I want to see what they're going to do with Grand Theft Auto 6. Because I thought the fifth one was a pretty good game. They had good characters in it.
The Cayo Perico heist is a blast. Ben and I have been farming that thing like it's like we're farming potatoes, man. It's easy.
Been doing the online a lot. Yeah.
Is that easy?
Oh yeah. I'm up to over 20 million in the game. I've never had that much money.
Jesus. Ever. I think I only have like 2 million.
Yeah. I'm up to I'm just 9 million or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sitting on 20 million and I have nothing that I need to buy right now.
That's when you just end up just killing your friends. Just spend $250,000 on dropping all armaments on them.
Oh yeah, we've It's a fun heist. It really is. It's a blast to do. It's a good challenge, and it's easily farmable. I don't know what Rockstar Games was thinking. Like it's completely opposite of all the other design decisions that they've made thus far. But this time around, like they made it like legitimately. I mean, it's not, you still have to do a bunch of missions. It's about an hour to an hour and a half time investment into each run at the island. And you come away with somewhere between 750K to about $1 million. But that's a good chunk of change for a small
$1.5 million when they have their bonuses on.
Yeah.
For investing that much time into a single online mission. Yeah.
Well, it's multiple mini missions then leading. Okay. So you go to the island, you scope the island out. Then you leave the island, you go do a bunch of prep missions in Los Santos. Then you head back to the island and you rob it.
Right.
I mean, that's still, like you said hour and a half of work.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Good chunk of cash for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Especially if you stream it, because most people stream 3 hours.
Streaming GTA that's not GTA roleplay is not worth your time. I'm just saying, especially with No Pixel 3.0 out. The whole new No Pixel that has like a metric shit ton of features and stuff. Kudos to the developers of that. Coil hired a lot of people for that, and they've made apparently one hell of a creation. I'd love to I've considered getting back into it because I used to be on No Pixel for a little while. My character Frank Berkowitz had a little presence on there for a short period of time.
That's a great name.
Yeah, Frank Berkowitz here. How you doing? Anyway, but he does our sponsor ads now. But yeah, so yeah, man, it's the thing is like everybody that's streaming GTA, if you go look at it on Twitch, they're all doing roleplay. They're all doing roleplay.
They all do character. I saw one guy.
And they're not role playing on the base GTA servers. They're role playing on modded servers that are run with 5M.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a different ballpark, different ball game.
Would you like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to your social media
or your Twitch accounts? Twitch account too.
Yeah. I will. All of them are Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. What else? Facebook. It's all AfterLifesUber.
Spelled like it sounds, right? AFTERS. Oh no.
Yep.
AFTERLIFESUBER. And of course, we will have links to all of that stuff in the description of the pod and in the description of the YouTube video. Yeah. We are coming close to our end per the Zoom free meetings.
Hey, man. It's
so Rory, thanks again, man. It was cool meeting you for the first time in person, face to face. I know we've been chatting on Twitch back and forth in each other's streams for a little while. Ben and I really greatly appreciate you agreeing to do this with us. You're going to be like around our 5th or 6th episode of this. Again, anybody that anybody out there watching or hearing this, if you're a gamer and you want to tell your story about how you got into gaming, we would love to talk to you. That's the deal. So thank you again, Rory. We appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you for asking, man. I had a good time. This was awesome.
Thanks for coming.
All right, great. Well, thanks again, everybody, for being here on another episode of How It Started. We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us on this episode of How It Started. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us. You can find links to our podcast episodes, social media, and more by going to howitstartedpod.com or by searching for How It Started, How Gamers Became Gamers on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. We release new episodes on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can find Ben on Twitch at twitch.tv/ZivionV3 and on Instagram at Zivion. You can find Steve on Twitch at twitch.tv/SecretLayerArcade, on Instagram at SecretLayerArcade, and on Twitter at LayerArcade. Until next time, I'm Steve Arcade. For myself and my co-host Ben, thanks for joining us, and be sure to live your best one up.